I am Irene Graziani and I am the director and writer for the short film Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone is a story that shows the deep relationship between a sculptor and his statue. Victor's love for art is limitless. One day, when he's finishing his latest statue, the statue of a beautiful woman, he falls deeply in love with her and he prays to God to be able to marry a woman as beautiful as his statue Dia. That very day, the statue becomes alive. Victor cannot believe his eyes. He is deeply in love with her and he believes that she's perfect and she's the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. But suddenly, and very soon, he starts noticing in her all the flaws and all the imperfections that he didn't notice before.
We did the preparation, we did the trials where we tried on makeup on the actors a few times. We were trying to find the right amount of layers, right amount of shadows and everything, because you can't just leave a white, blank person, basically, after you covered with colors, you know. So we're trying to find basically the right balance, which took us some time, but in the end, I think it kind of saved us a bit of a time on a set, even though we were retouching the makeup all the time after each set, after each take.
The film called for an artist's studio, which in London is quite abundant. However, this really had to be specific. We wanted something with huge windows. We wanted period-esque, and we found this fantastic Victorian factory. It used to be a propeller factory, but now it's Artist Studios and was inhabited by an artist, Nick Malone. Absolutely perfect. The one drawback was it was £1,000 a day, and we needed it for 2 days, £2,000. So how do students with a budget of £300 in total fund a £2,000 location? Well, we managed to haggle it down to £250 for the 2 days, which was quite cheeky of us, and we pulled it off. But it was fantastic, fantastic space. We've got his art in the background, the wonderful windows, and it perfectly suited the tone of the film and what it needed.
I helped her to develop more the character in the acting. So with Irene, we did many rehearsals with the actors. We saw many things with the actors to go into the feelings in the way that they play. I helped also on the script at some point to see what we can do to change actions, maybe to be more impactful, to find some stuff that help people to understand more and help people to feel. I really want to make them feel something, the viewers, and I think that worked in the final edit of the film.
So some of you may recognize the deep core of my project, of my story. In fact, it is based on Ovid's Metamorphosis, Pygmalion and the Statue. I have chosen to take this story because I find it extremely interesting and inspiring to talk about some important themes that I'm very fond of. One of the most important themes and subjects that I wanted to talk about in my story and in my short film is what is human and what is inhuman. So Victor loves Leah, not really for the person she is, but he loves her for her natural beauty, for how she appears. And when he stops loving her because of that, when he finds in her the flaws and the imperfections that he didn't notice before, he suddenly stops loving her. He suddenly starts to be naughty against her. He suddenly starts not to care about her anymore. So can this be considered human? Someone that, yes, is alive, but lives with a heart of stone, lives being able to love only himself without even caring or noticing what's surrounding him. And therefore, can we consider human when human beings and people destroy the nature that surrounds them without even caring, without even seeing what they're doing? just because they're thinking about themselves, just because of their indifference and egoistic behavior. Another theme that I think it's pivotal and interesting to talk about is the relationship between human and God. In the film, we can see very clearly the relationship that Victor has with God. He relies on him every time. He thinks that he can help him, he can be by his side all the time. And this is very interesting in human history as well, how humans have been affected in their actions and choices, and how they have always relied on something that is above us, that is outside of our world. There is a quote from Hubert Reeves that deeply inspired me for this movie. And the quote says, "Man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and destroys a visible nature, unaware that the nature he's destroying is the God that's worshipped." Despite all the work that we had to do and the little time, the little budget that we had, the work is almost done, and we're very happy, the crew and the cast, about what we've done and what we've achieved at the end of our shooting. So this crowdfunding campaign is aimed just to ask for the people who are interested in arts, in films, and in the story as well, to share our project and to help us just finishing the little things that we need still to work on, to be able for us to share this story and this work with everyone.